What does it take for a man to destroy everything he's built when all he needed to do was swallow his pride? James was my rock, the man who could fix anything: a leaking faucet, a bad day, even my broken heart. But when his stubbornness took root, it grew into something I couldn't recognize, something that tore our world apart. James worked as a project manager at a tech firm, a job he loved despite its pressures. He was good at it, too charming, sharp, the kind of guy who could rally a team through impossible deadlines. But charm doesn't always mean humility. Last spring, a major client project went south. A coding error caused a system crash during a live demo, costing the client thousands. The team scrambled to fix it, but the client demanded accountability. Fingers pointed to James, who had overseen the project. All he had to do was admit the oversight, apologize, and move on. The client was reasonable. The company was forgiving. A simple, "I'm sorry," could have saved everything. But James didn't see it that way. He saw blame as an attack, an insult to his competence. "I'm not groveling," he told me that night, pacing our living room, his voice sharp with indignation. His eyes, usually warm, were cold, fixed on some invisible enemy. I tried to reason with him, my hands trembling as I poured coffee we wouldn't drink. "James, it's just words. Say them, and this blows over." He shook his head, his jaw set like stone. "It's not just words, Sarah. It's my reputation." The next day, he doubled down. At a meeting with the client and his boss, James didn't apologize. Instead, he argued, pointing out flaws in the client's requirements, blaming junior developers, even questioning the client's competence. I wasn't there, but his colleague, Mark, told me later how the room went silent, the air thick with disbelief. The client walked out. By the end of the week, James was suspended. I thought suspension would wake him up, force him to see reason. But it only fueled his anger. He spent days at home, ranting about betrayal, about how the company didn't value him. I listened, my heart aching, but I couldn't reach him. He was slipping away, consumed by a need to be right. I begged him to call his boss, to make things right. "They'll take you back," I said, my voice breaking. "Just say you're sorry." He looked at me like I was a stranger. "You don't get it, do you? I'm not wrong." Weeks turned into months. The suspension became termination. The tech industry is small, word spreads fast. James's refusal to own his mistake branded him as unprofessional, untrustworthy. Recruiters stopped calling. Our savings dwindled. I took extra shifts at the hospital, my nurse's scrubs feeling heavier each day. James, once so full of life, became a shadow, spending hours staring at his laptop, applying for jobs that never responded, or worse, snapping at me when I tried to help. One night, I found him in the garage, sitting on an old chair, surrounded by tools he hadn't touched in months. His hands were clasped tight, his knuckles white. "What are we doing, James?" I whispered, my voice barely holding together. He didn't look at me. "I thought I was protecting us," he said, his voice hollow. "I thought if I fought, I'd prove something." I knelt beside him, tears burning my eyes. "You didn't need to prove anything to me." The house grew quieter, the bills louder. We sold his car, then mine. Friends stopped inviting us over, tired of James's bitter rants. I missed the man who used to laugh with me over late-night ice cream, who dreamed of starting a family. I wondered if he was still in there, buried under pride and regret. Then, one morning, I found a letter on the kitchen table. James's handwriting was shaky, the paper creased from being folded and unfolded. "Sarah," it read, "I've been wrong about so much. I thought standing my ground would make me strong, but it's cost me everything: me job, my dignity, you. I'm going to my brother's for a while. I need to figure out who I am without all this anger. I'm sorry." That last word hit me like a wave. Sorry. The word he couldn't say at work, the word that could have changed everything, was now inked on paper, too late to save us. I don't know if James will find his way back to himself, to me, to the life we planned. I still love him, but love can't fix what pride breaks. I sit in our half-empty house, wondering if he'll ever understand that strength isn't refusing to bend, it's knowing when to. Sometimes, I imagine him walking through the door, his old smile back, saying he's learned. But for now, I wait, holding on to hope and the memory of who we were. This story isn't just about James. It's about all of us. How we cling to being right, how we let ego blind us to what matters. A simple apology could have saved his career, our home, our dreams. Instead, He chose ruin, and I'm left asking, what would you have done?